Scary story. The Carver Nathanial Whitaker Maniac serial killer. In the quiet mountain town of Whisper Ridge, Colorado, where pine trees stood sentinel over narrow roads and winter snow, buried secrets deeper than graves, residents avoided talking about the cabin on Black Pine Road. They called its former occupant the Carver, though his real name was Nathaniel Nate Whitaker. Nate had been a woodworker, specializing in intricate carvings of animals, faces, and abstract shapes. Tourists bought his pieces from the little shop he ran out of his garage. He had kind eyes, a soft voice, and hands that moved with surgical precision over chisel and knife. No one suspected those same hands had tasted blood. It started small. In the fall of 2018, a hiker named Jordan Hayes, 24, vanished while trekking the Whisper Ridge Loop Trail. Search parties found his backpack, one boot, and smears of blood on a boulder. The official conclusion: bear attack. But bears don't usually take trophies. 2 months later, ski instructor Lauren Brooks, 27, disappeared after closing the rental shop late one night. Her car was found abandoned at the base of the mountain, with the driver's door open and keys still in the ignition. Again, the town whispered animal. Maybe a mountain lion this time. Then came the third. Ethan Caldwell, 19. A college freshman home for winter break. He went snowshoeing alone and never returned. His phone was discovered lodged in the crook of a tree, screen cracked. Last photo time-stamped 3 minutes before midnight. Just darkness and the faint outline of branches. That was when people started connecting dots. The bodies were eventually found, or what remained of them, scattered across different parts of the forest over the next 18 months. Each victim had been meticulously dismembered, not hacked apart in rage, but taken apart joint by joint, almost surgically. Bones had been cleaned of flesh with obsessive care, and on each set of remains, the killer had left his signature, small wooden carvings placed inside the rib cage, or tucked into the empty eye sockets. A tiny owl for Jordan, a delicate deer for Lauren, a miniature fox for Ethan. The carvings were exquisite. Nate Whitaker's unmistakable style. The town refused to believe it at first. Nate was one of them. Quiet, polite, donated carvings to the elementary school art show every year. But the evidence mounted. Investigators eventually searched his property after a fourth victim. Park Ranger Mia Torres, 31, vanished in early 2020. Her radio went silent during a routine patrol. When they finally located her, she was suspended by ropes from a pine tree, limbs arranged in a crucifixion pose, torso opened like a book. Inside her chest cavity, a perfectly carved raven, wings spread, beak pointing skyward. They raided Nate's cabin at dawn on a frigid February morning. Inside they found a workshop that looked more like a morgue. Workbenches lined with carving tools, gouges, V-tools, micro chisels, each one razor sharp. Refrigerated drawers contained plastic bags labeled with dates and names. Inside cleaned bones, some still bearing faint traces of muscle, and dozens upon dozens of wooden figures in various stages of completion. Birds, mammals, mythical creatures, all waiting to be placed inside future victims. The pièce de résistance was in the back room, a life-sized wooden mannequin constructed entirely from human bone, wired together with thin steel cables. The skull had been replaced with a carved wooden face, Nate's own likeness, smiling serenely. Nate wasn't home when they arrived. He had fled into the mountains the night before. Sensing the noose tightening, a massive manhunt followed. Hundreds of volunteers, K9 units, helicopters, thermal imaging, nothing. For 3 years the town lived in uneasy quiet. No new disappearances, no new carvings discovered in the woods. People began to hope the Carver had perished in some crevasse or frozen to death on a ridge. Then, in the winter of 2023, the carvings started reappearing. Not bodies this time, just the sculptures. A wooden wolf placed on the doorstep of the sheriff's house. A carved bear left on the hood of the mayor's car. A tiny eagle found nailed to the welcome sign at the trailhead. Each piece bore the same microscopic signature on the base. NW. In delicate script. Panic returned. In 2024, the first new body appeared. A young photographer named Caleb Ruiz, 22, visiting from Denver to shoot winter landscapes. His remains were discovered near an old mining cabin, high above tree line. Dismembered with the same precision. Inside the rib cage, a beautifully detailed mountain goat. The town realized the Carver hadn't died. He had simply gone to ground. Waiting, watching, perfecting his craft. The FBI returned. Behavioral analysts profiled him as a ritualistic killer, driven by a need for control and permanence. The carvings weren't just trophies. They were his way of preserving something eternal from each victim. He's trying to capture their essence, one profiler said, turning fleeting life into lasting art. Another theory circulated among the old-timers. Nate believed the mountain itself demanded sacrifice, that by offering bodies and immortalizing them in wood, he kept the avalanches at bay, kept the blizzards from burying the town entirely. Superstition, sure. But after enough winters of unnatural quiet, followed by sudden violent storms right after a disappearance, some began to wonder. In 2025, another victim surfaced. this time a solo rock climber named Avery Quinn, 29, found at the base of a sheer face called Devil's Drop. Body shattered from the fall, but the dismemberment done post-mortem with the same care. Tucked inside the cracked sternum, a carved peregrine falcon. Mid-dive, search teams scoured the peaks again. Drones flew grid patterns. Nothing, but the carvings kept appearing. One every few months now, left in public places like offerings. A wooden salmon on the church altar. A sculpted elk beside the elementary school's flagpole. Each one a promise of more to come. As of last winter, the count stands at 9 confirmed bodies. 9 exquisite carvings recovered from within them, and at least 15 more wooden figures that have appeared around Whisper Ridge without an accompanying corpse. Yet, the locals no longer hike alone. They avoid the high trails after first snow. Children are told to come straight home when the sun drops behind the ridge, and every woodshop in town has quietly removed Nate Whitaker's old business card from the community bulletin board. Some say he's still up there, living in a hidden lean-to, surviving on what he hunts and what he preserves. Others claim he's become part of the mountain itself, that on quiet nights you can hear the tap-tap-tap of mallet on chisel, echoing down from the peaks, patient and endless. No one knows how many more carvings he has left to place. No one knows whose likeness will be next. But in Whisper Ridge, they all agree on one thing. The Carver isn't finished, not by a long shot. Check out my long videos with scary stories. Visit my channel and watch. Subscribe to my channel. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Recommend it to your friends. Check out my videos, friends.